Howdy folks, welcome aboard the channel. I'm Don, this is Rockin' a Country, where I react to non-pop country music. I don't know this song, but it's Shane Smith and the Saints, and I do know some of their stuff courtesy of Jacob Herricks and some others earlier in the channel, but the song is Canvas. I don't know the song, but it's a gift request. Jacob made a gift to the channel for me to react to this one, so Jacob, thank you for that, my friend. Let's see what Shane has. I just did a song yesterday, courtesy of a gift request by Jacob, and it was with Molly Tuttle, and that was a really just entrancing performance at Red Rocks. I loved it, and Molly carried her weight, no problem whatsoever. So let's see what we have today with the song Canvas. Love a title like that. Here we go. Thank you for the gift, Jacob. I'm assuming these folks are on the Texas music scene, Jacob? Yeah, they have a really good fiddle player in this band.
I had a brother who wasn't from my family, who worked a ranch by the border where the rain clouds never seen. And old Rocco was a ranch hand. He got fired from my boss, man. Now he works a dozer in Eagle Pass.
A bulldozer?
I ain't seen him in a long time. I wonder how he's getting by, and I wish our fate sometimes could take us back. He said your life is a canvas, you paint some every day. And when you think you got it all figured out in your head, you know the man's got your final say. And look back on all your memories, if we go our separate ways. Don't forget your life's a canvas, we might get painted back someday.
This is a Jacob song. Little red dirt going on.
You're rolling barbed wire and killing time. You wake the sunrise, worked all night, just like the sunset on the ocean. The light just fades away. You see the stars shine in the desert just before the break of day. And then the wind throws me a memory of an LA girl I loved. You know she left me for the sunset when she said she'd had enough. And as the sweat rolls through my work glove, ask me, what are you doing here? Could she love you for a lifetime and not even shed a tear? I bet she cried by Arizona when them mountains all turned black. Question faith down at some crossroad, drinking from a paper sack. I've lost two buddies from two drunken nights, and that alone is tough. They're probably in some better place, but man, it's getting rough. It's getting rough.
That's the thing in relationships too, when they break up and then you wonder what's the other one doing. But sometimes the other one can realize, you know, I was very difficult to live with. Sometimes you might realize, wow, I was really difficult to live with. Like the song Southern Cross, where the line is by Crosby, Stills and Nash, and I think it was Stephen Stills singing on that one. But the line is, on a midnight watch I realized why twice you ran away. Sometimes it takes that view from back here or up here, getting separated from it, and then those moments of clarity, which sometimes we call honesty, but where you see clearly what you sewed into it and you can understand why they left. In this song, what did he say? I bet she was crying by Arizona when she saw the hills or the mountains or what have you. I guess That's an illusion. Maybe what he was kind of hoping she might cry and come back, but she's in a better place. I mean, I think that was he said here. There was a lot going on in the song at that moment. I couldn't quite make out all the lyrics, but I'll go with that narrative that he might be realizing she's in a better place now. She may have cried in Arizona, but you get sad when you're going to leave. Your heart breaks because you were with someone for a reason. You loved them, but when you're going to move along, you're going to feel something. If you don't, there's issues there too. All right, let's see how it resolves itself.
It's getting rough.
Well, she's painting her own canvas too.
Since your life is a canvas, you paint some every day.
Yeah.
And when you think you got it all figured out in your head, you know the band's got your final say. And
The
look
band.
back on all your memories. If we go our separate ways, don't forget your life's a canvas. We might get painted back someday.
Did they break up? Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting because I think he said the first stanza or chorus or line or whatever, he said that your life is a canvas and a little more gets painted every day. But then toward the end, I think what did he say? But like, oh, did he say the band? I thought he said, but the man may have different plans or something. You may want to paint it a certain way, but the man has different plans. And that was after he spoke about his friend who was fired from his job. And now he's like, I think, riding a bulldozer for his employment. I think there was razor wire mentioned there or whatever. But that was sort of the setup for how life is painted on the canvas. And I thought he said, but the man had different plans. In the end here, I thought he said, but the band had different plans. So I didn't know if that was an allusion to them splitting up and possibly coming back together at some point, depending on how things roll. I'm going to assume that's not the way it was because it's just really a mix-up of one letter, man, band. In a song, that just sounds like one letter difference, the B and the M. The D sometimes is imperceptible. But yeah, I mean, this is it's just your life gets painted every day, sometimes good, sometimes bad. And sometimes easy things, sometimes not. Much of it, if you were to look back on the canvas of your life, so to speak, there would be far more days that were uneventful. You went to work, you came home, maybe you watched the game, your team won or lost, went to bed, whatever. You came home, you went to your kid's soccer game, your kid won or lost, went to bed. Most of the days like that are just kind of like uneventful, but then you've got like big events. Day you got married. Maybe you got divorced. Maybe a friend died in your life or, whatever, big events in your life. You got this new great job or you opened a business and you were profitable in your first year and it set the stage for, this excitement and this new life. Or there's a tragedy or there's a wonderful thing. But most of life is sort of like right in the middle there, uneventful. And you're painting some of it, of course. I'm not one who thinks that God's in control, that there's a supernatural force that is, making things good or bad happen in your life and all that stuff. My belief, my approach is more libertarian, where I just think that, the decision making is mine. I've got to think things through. I've got to pay attention. I've got to pay attention to other people, care about them. And that will help me in the decisions that I make, even if I go into business, how I treat the clientele, the customers or whatever. When I'm in a relationship, how I treat her, how I drive my vehicle, all this stuff, paying attention to the details and paying attention to current events and relevant things that may relate to money if you're investing, interest rates, market movements and whatever. But pay attention to whatever details relate to your line of work, your world view, your world. And you're going to paint that picture, but the dynamic of life is such that a lot of it is not in our control. Somebody runs a red light and you're going through casually through and somebody plows that red light. That happened to my friend Bob about 12 years ago, and he's dead. He was on a business trip in Georgia coming home. Left the airport. His driver was bringing him. His driver was bringing him to the airport, and a woman ran a red light and T-boned him, and he died instantly. He didn't plan that, clearly. I don't believe God or the devil or any other thing. I think that is the dynamic of life, and those things are outside our control. I have this YouTube channel because I was flipping channels 25 years ago. And I was listening to a rock station out of New York on a Sunday, and on comes Billy Dean's song. I don't know it's Billy Dean. I just hear them tuned into the middle of the song, basically, and it was this gorgeous ballad. And I'm like, what is this? Who is this? Why? It was Billy Dean's song, You Don't Count the Cost. And it was so beautiful that a couple of years later, I was able to find out who that artist was. It's pre-internet days, might have been 30 years ago. When I bought that CD, I bought Sherry Austin's CD, I bought Alan Jackson's Greatest Hits, and Merle's Greatest Hits, because they were all in a little section where things were on sale. And I'm like, let me grab a few more. It's only a few extra bucks, And I turned out over time to love this music. It flashed to the future, and YouTube became a big deal. Then reaction videos did, and here I am. Part of that's me. It's like, what is it? That luck favors the prepared, but like luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So a lot of it's within our control. Anyway, we're painting that canvas, each of us daily. And if we want to offload the responsibility for good things or bad things onto supernatural beings, you can do that. I don't disparage you, but I think that you're ripping yourself off in ways because you have far more control, influence over what happens in your life. Not complete any more than my friend Bob did when he was killed in a business trip. That was not his doing. What do you say about that? But in this case, she had had enough, evidently, and she's leaving. And or do you paint in darker colors on those days and those crappy events? Perhaps. So, Jacob, I'm going to rate this. And the number that popped into my head was a 9.1. It was definitely a Jacob Herricks song because it got more of that, that red dirt, rock country bass in it. But it was country right out of the chute. So, and I like red dirt. Name of my channel, Rock into Country. I went from rock into country, and now I'm rocking the country. So anyhow, all right, Jacob, thank you again, my friend. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep painting the canvas of your own life, and keep rocking the country.